Good morning, everyone. Here's what's coming up on Kaleidoscope.
As you know, yearbooks will be coming in very soon. We'll tell you how to pre-order them. Coming up next.
You're watching IHS TV, Channel 11. And now, Barry Harris, Laura Boyd, and the K-Scope News team. This is Kaleidoscope News this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a good day so far. I'm Laura Boyd.
And I'm Barry Harris. It's a pleasure to have you with us. We're going to start off with a look at the weather.
Hi, this is Steph with the weather. Today will be sunny with a high 71. Tonight's low will be 48. The current temperature is 51 degrees and humidity is at 57%. And the barometric pressure is at 30.46 and steady. And now we're to birthdays.
Hi, this is Sophie with the birthdays. The birthdays for today are Jason Manton, Tyler Palachalka, Amanda Bostic, James Corey, Tim Farrell, and Kimber Zajac. Happy birthday. Now over to today's headline.
Good morning, this is Jess with today's headlines. Sunoco Refinery, which caught on fire Sunday night, officials said they did not have a cause for the spectacular blaze and were not certain when operations would return to normal. Now back to the news desk.
The library will close for the year on June 5th. All books must be returned no later than this Friday. Students who do not return their library books will be billed for their materials. Don't forget, you can reserve your copy of the yearbook with Mrs. Schwartz, Mr. Pattinson, or Ms. Powers in the main office. Any seniors who would like their scholarships or awards announced in the graduation booklet, Ms. Senkow needs the information provided on an official letterhead as soon as possible. Now for sports.
Good morning, this is Allie and Jim with today's sports.
The baseball team lost to Westchester Henderson yesterday 18-1, taking them out of the playoffs.
And the softball team also lost their playoff game yesterday to Boyertown, 4-0.
The Phillies travel to Cincinnati tonight to take on the Reds. Game begins at 7:10.
That's it for sports. Now over to the news desk.
The blood drive is scheduled for tomorrow. If a student is donating blood, they must eat breakfast. They should not take aspirin or drink any caffeinated drinks. Also, they must bring their identification with them. Passes will be in the homeroom folder today and tomorrow. Any questions, see Mr. Lavery in room 309. Another note, students should consider carpooling or walking to school due to the limited parking situation because of the blood drive tomorrow. In other news, attention juniors who are attending the junior class trip to Baltimore, Maryland. Each student is able to choose their own bus for the trip. Bus sign-ups are right by Mrs. Haynes' desk, so please make sure you sign up for a bus this week. We'll have part 2 of our interview with Don Tolleson coming up a little bit later on, but first, over to the menu item of the day.
Hi, this is Nick with the menu. Today we'll have personal pan pizza, and tomorrow we'll have zesty meat lasagna with steamed carrots, garlic bread, and pears. And now over to the vocab word.
Good morning, Interboro. This is Colin with the vocab word of the day. Today's vocab word is dour, meaning stern or joyless. For example, this dour person took this delicious tea cooler off this young lad. Now over to quote of the day.
This is Brooke with the quote. Did you know that Mark Twain once said, "The man who does not read good books has no advantage over the man who can read them"? Now over to history.
On this date, May 19th, 1536, Anne Boleyn, the second wife of Henry VIII, is beheaded. And in 2005, the final film of the Star Wars series, Star Wars 3: Revenge of the Sith, is released in America. Now over to trivia.
This is Brooke with the trivia. Did you know that the parts of the human body that only have 3 letters are eye, arm, ear, gum, jaw, lip, ribs, and toe?
What's up, Interboro? This is Colin with today's entertainment. Some new CD releases coming out is 21st Century Breakdown by Green Day, Sugar by Flo Rida, and Relapse by Eminem. Now to Barry with the news desk.
What a thrill it was to have Don Tolleson in our studio, and we're going to continue with part 2 of our interview. He'll be talking about his Channel 6 memories and his years working there. We do want to set a little bit up for you. We mentioned a man by the name of Jim O'Brien. Some of you may not know who he is. He was a weatherman at Channel 6 back in the late 70s and early 80s. He was immensely popular until his tragic death in a skydiving accident. So Don Tolleson reflects on Jim O'Brien as well as his years at Channel 6. And then, when you were hired at Channel 6, you were just a general assignment reporter.
Yeah. Channel 6, which, as many people in this area know, if not most, has been traditionally the most ratings-dominant television station in the United States. Their historical news viewership levels are higher than any other television station in the country. And I think one of the reasons for their success is that when you first come there, as I did after having done college football for a season with ABC, they want to make sure before you anchor that you have a real feel for the Philadelphia region. And they want to make sure that you can pronounce Schuylkill and Conshohocken and understand the difference between townships and boroughs and know that the Mummers Parade involves 2 Street and not 2nd Street. And they really feel that by putting people on the air, at least they did back in that day and age, putting people on the air as reporters, you have a better chance of them getting to know the area in a very detailed way.
And so then you were a sports anchor at Channel 6. Yeah. And you know the people you work with, Gary Papa, who's now sports director of Action News, and Scott Palmer is now director of public relations. That really says something to the success. What was it like working with those guys?
I had the great fortune of being around some incredible colleagues. And of course, foremost among them, the late Jim O'Brien, who was, to me, the greatest all-around broadcaster, not only in Philadelphia history, but anywhere in broadcasting, because he could do rock and roll radio, he could do television movie show hosting, morning show hosting, he could do news, sports, weather. But in addition, I got to work with Jim Gardner and Larry Kane, who back-to-back have been kind of the cornerstones of Action News' success for really 4 decades. And then in my department, I got to work with initially a guy named Joe Pellegrino.
Yes.
And then after I came on board, Scott Palmer and Gary Papa joined us. And I think we had a really good team of people who could both report live sports events and be in the studio. And really, as in so many aspects of life, to have that chemistry on the air requires chemistry off the air. And I think there was a lot of that among the Action News team.
Absolutely, and I was actually wondering, you know, the latest generation of journalists probably would not really know who Jim O'Brien is, so how would you explain who he is or his work ethic to somebody who doesn't really know?
I think Jim O'Brien can best be described as a beloved anchor person. And for those people who aren't familiar with Jim's career, Jim passed away in a parachuting accident where he saved another jumper's life by really, in essence, risking his own life, and unfortunately lost his life in the process. But Jim was truly beloved as an anchor person. And a lot of it came from the fact that his primary job at the time he passed away was doing weather on Action News. And a number of people said in the days following his passing that I thought really summed up the ultimate tribute to him as a broadcaster. They said that no matter what the weather forecast was, he made it fun. And that's very difficult to do sometimes when you have very bad storms coming through and you have weather that is changing people's plans and there are traffic and air delays and all. And yet Jim O'Brien had this unique gift as a weatherman to really be upbeat and positive, and people, like I said, considered him a part of their family. And that's something very hard to achieve on the air.
That's it, everyone. Thanks for watching Kaleidoscope. I'm Laura Boyd.
And I'm Barry Harris. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.